And okay, I think we're ready to go. So just wanted to say hello to everybody who's joining us today for Chat with the Chief. And if you're joining us in Zoom and you have any questions, please go ahead and put those into the chat box and we'll answer those questions there. And if you're joining us on Facebook, welcome. And go ahead and put your questions in the comment section on Facebook, and we'll be monitoring that and answer your questions on Facebook. So we have captioning available, and we don't have Spanish translation this evening. And Chief, you have the floor.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah, so I thought we'd use tonight to kind of catch everybody up on some of the things we've been doing this year, and still, of course, answer questions. But you know, a while back on a chat, one of the questions that came up is the motorized scooters, mopeds, bicycles, and there were some concerns about, you know, what are the rules, what are the laws on that. And so Sergeant Dave Sutter put together this informational packet. We posted it on our Facebook. And so I just kind of thought we would maybe go over that real quick tonight. What we found is there's definitely a lot of confusion around this because there are so many different, there's the scooters, and then there's the bikes, and the pocket bikes and the mopeds. So depending on what you have, you know, we tried to outline that for you. So as far as a motorized scooter, you know, these are really the ones you stand on, and you see a lot of the kids. These are the ones you'll see like in the cities. A lot of times, I know Sacramento has them, San Francisco has them. You can rent them. You stand on them. They got a little steering wheel and a gas. Those are the motorized scooters. There are some with a seat also, but for the most part, that's what we're talking about. And so, see, it indicates that a driver's license or permit is required to ride those. Properly fitted and fastened bicycle helmet is required. They cannot exceed 15 miles an hour. They ride in the bike lane, not on the sidewalk, which I know is one of the issues we run into a lot. People want to ride them on the sidewalk. The recommendation is to wear closed-toed shoes. That's not necessarily a law, but it's a recommendation. And they must obey all traffic laws and rules. So those are just some things about the little scooter. And they're all different styles. I saw a couple kids in the park with one. It depends on what the battery size is a lot of times on them. And then you get into motorized bicycles and mopeds. These are with or without pedals, automatic transmission. These are the ones that are capable of going up to 30 miles an hour. A motorcycle license is required on those. A DOT certified helmet is required. They're not allowed, even though they can go up to 30 miles an hour, they're not allowed to be driven at over 20 miles an hour on the roadway. And do you want to talk to your insurance about what they will or will not cover if you're riding one of those? And then there's another one that's it's less. It's a less than 1,000 watt output. It's a 20 mile an hour moped or bicycle. Rider must be at least 16 and have a properly fitted and fastened bicycle helmet. That's what's required on there. And of course, then you got the pocket bikes. Those are the little motorcycles there, like Honey, I Shrunk the Motorcycle type ones. Those must be ridden only on private property, cannot ride in parks, schools, property or trails or roads, can't be ridden on sidewalks, and they can be impounded for violation. It's just like a motorcycle. So, but they've got to be ridden only on private property. And we've had some issues with that. People riding in a park and confusion on the creek paths. They cannot be ridden on those areas, only private property. So I just wanted to make sure that people go to our Facebook page and look at that. We're also going to be providing this to the school district so that they can send it out in their notifications to all the parents. So you might be getting it digitally. And then the other thing we're putting out is we're going to send it in the water bill. So the next water bill goes out, I believe, in April. And so there will be a copy of this in the water bill. So when you see that extra piece of paper, just take a look at it real quick before throwing it away. That's usually what happens in my water bill. So anyway, I thought we start there. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
I just said good recommendation.
Yeah. Who reads all that? We try to make it colorful and easy to read, so shouldn't take you long. And then there's also some additional information on where you can go. The American Academy of Pediatrics has a website that has some information. California Vehicle Code, of course, has some, and then the California Department of Motor Vehicles also has some. And we put those websites on there so that you can go and see if you're confused on what one you have or what the rules are. And if you still have questions, just call us. We'd be glad to come out if we have to and look at what you have and then tell you what the parameters for that particular motorized scooter or bike and where that falls in there. We don't want anybody getting in trouble, and we certainly don't want anybody getting hurt. With these new scooters coming out and the motorized bicycles becoming pretty popular, we have seen just on some of the data that we've read that head injuries have tripled in the recent years. And people don't understand that it doesn't take much of a fall on the head to cause severe injury. So just be careful on them. One of the other things we wanted to talk about is a while back, as last year, we had a department meeting, and I know we talked about that on the chat. But during that department meeting, we had a lot of discussions, and one of them was ways that we could try to connect with the community and get out there a lot more. And I told the officers that they don't all have to be my ideas. I encourage the officers to come up with ideas. And so one of our detectives came up with the idea of, he's calling it Froyo with Ropo, the Rohnert Park Department of Public Safety. And it's really a cool idea. So we're excited to announce now that we are going to do a Froyo with Ropo on March 19th, which is this coming Saturday, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And it's going to be at the Toppings Frozen Yogurt over there just off of Golf Course Drive at 969 Golf Course Drive is where it's at. And so, this is a great chance to bring yourself and your children out and meet members of the Public Safety Department. If you have questions, particularly, you don't want to ask me, but you want to hear from a real police officer, because they say I just did in my office, but please come out. It's going to be a fun day. It's only 2 hours. And we encourage you to come out and meet with some of our officers with Ropo or Froyo with the Ropo. We think it'll be fun. And Jill, I just saw something flash up here, but I didn't catch it.
Oh, as far as a question that came in?
I thought I saw a chat question come in.
Yes, one did come in, and it came in from Facebook, and they were asking about the scope of work for the auditor contract, and wanted to know if it was done being negotiated, if it was going to come back to city council. If you can kind of chat about the status on that.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go from Froyo with Ropo to
I know.
good transition. So I know that it went to council for them to approve the actual auditor. And it is the final product is being worked on right now. That is being done through our city attorney's office. And I actually have no part in that, nor does the city manager. The city attorney is handling that. And we did that on purpose, right? Because we said it would be an independent police auditor. And so I have stayed out of it. I do know that, that they are finalizing it, because they had a couple of questions for me as far as numbers and stuff. So that I provided that, but I haven't been part of that process, but I do know that it's getting close and they are finalizing it. And if you remember, one of the other recommendations was that I would be presenting the council with a calendar so that people could look ahead and kind of see when public safety was going to be presenting different items in case they wanted to talk about them. And so the independent police auditor report will not be on that calendar even, because I will not be having any determination in when that comes to council, or when there's a report to council, or how that works with council. So the independent part, I think, is one of the things that the community was looking for. They did want this to be transparent and independent, so they're getting it. But on the other hand, I don't have all those answers because I'm not working on the contract. However, it is nearing completion. So I can't tell you that. And I'm actually looking forward to it because I want to see those reports start going out. And if I'm missing something, I want to know. So the sooner they can get that going, the better it will be for everybody.
So we also have our guest who just joined us, and let's see.
Yeah, that's great. So just so you don't get tired of listening to me all the time, I asked our public works director, Vanessa Garrett, to come on tonight because I know that we have been getting a lot of questions about the roundabout. And a lot of it for us has been traffic related, but also people want to know when it's going to be done and where's. So I asked our very special guest, Vanessa, if she would like to come on and just talk about the traffic circle real quick, or how she can have the whole hour if she'd like, but and answer people. So if you have questions about timing or what's going on with it or anything like that, you've got the expert right here, Vanessa Garrett. So Vanessa, welcome and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I do have a quick update on the roundabout construction. So that's at the intersection of Commerce and Southwest Boulevard. We're turning that weird three-way stop into a roundabout, and we're opening up the northbound, southbound on Commerce, which has been closed for a couple months now. We're opening that up tomorrow. So there will be some way through into Cotati and from Cotati starting tomorrow.
When do they, I might have missed it, but what do you think the completion date on the whole thing? I did go through there last night. It was nice to go through. Yeah, and it looks like they're now working on a second half. Is that kind of what they're doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we expect to be complete with the construction early summer. So at the latest June, we would be completely open with the bike lanes, which they're working on now on the north side. And the sidewalk is done already. Most of the roundabouts complete. So we'll be completely out of there in June.
Great. I did go through there last night, and I did notice that it's still blocked to go when you get about halfway through it to go into Cotati or to go up towards the main street or some of those businesses. Will that open anytime soon? I know that's a question that came to me today.
Yeah, so starting tomorrow, they're doing the conversion now. If you're southbound on Commerce, you'll be able to go through south into Cotati. I don't know if that was already configured that way. And you'll be able to go northbound, but on Commerce, but you'll have to turn right onto Southwest Boulevard and go through Adrian to get up north of Commerce. So we'll still have a detour in place for that, but you'll be able to get through into Cotati starting tomorrow.
Great. Anybody got any questions coming in? What other any other big projects you got coming up, or any road construction you want people to know about? So
see other projects. We do have a sewer line replacement also on Commerce Boulevard. So you'll see construction workers replacing the sewer line in Commerce between Arlen and Allison. So honestly, if you can avoid that area when you're going through Commerce Boulevard, it'd be better if you could take Enterprise to Seed Farm to just go around all that construction. And then coming up here, yeah, those are the two main projects that we have in the main parts of town right now.
great. Yeah, when I was heading home last night, going down Commerce, I saw all the big blue pipe. So that must be a new project, because I'm like, where are they going to put that in a roundabout? I don't understand.
We do have another a couple of pedestrian safety improvements at I think 12 of our crosswalks currently that don't have stoplights, and they don't have the flashing, pedestrian signs that you can push and cross. So this summer, we're also installing those flashing lights at 12 of the uncontrolled pedestrian crosswalks. For example, like Commerce Boulevard and Heinbach Creek right now, that intersection, you just cross and you don't really have that extra protection of high vis. So we have that going on this summer at 12 intersections. Also, I think those are the main street improvements for this year.
That's great. That's, I mean, pedestrian safety is so important, and I know a lot of people talk about it. So that's a big project, 12 of them.
Yeah,
That's cutting into streets and sidewalks and getting, yeah, that's a big project.
doing some traffic calming. Yep, restriping those crosswalks. We've just gotten a lot of feedback. There are a lot of people out walking and biking now, especially after COVID. They're definitely using our creek paths and our sidewalks a lot more to get around town.
Yeah, well, your crew is pretty amazing. And, we appreciate them. So we'll help in any way we can to get that done. But that's a job you're taking on to do the sewer project, the roundabout, and 12 crossings. Pretty amazing. So.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about it.
So I'm excited that we got to introduce you to the community. And I'm sure a lot of people know, but you know, they say once you've been on the chat, you know, you're famous now. So, but
thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on and giving us an update. So take care, and if anything else comes on, I'll pass it on and let you can tell me what the answer is. But,
sounds good. Thanks, Chief.
Just put on just a comment on an area as well, so we can share that with you if people post, you know, areas of concern they have or information that they want you to be aware of. So
okay,
perfect.
Thanks.
Take care. Have a good night too. All right.
Bye.
All right. I was glad when I thought about it today, and I'm like, you know, I get a lot of questions, and I called her like literally an hour ago. But hey, would you want to come on? And so she graciously said that. She's a busy lady, so
yeah,
I'm glad she come on and give that update. She's doing a great job over there at Public Works. So,
right.
and their crew, you know, I gotta say they all the departments around the city are phenomenal. Since I've been here a little over 3 years now, and one of the things I enjoy working here is because we have such strong departments, and you know, our human services department, our development services department, they're amazing, and they work hard. You know, that human services just trying to keep staffing up in the city, along with all the stuff they do with liability and stuff. You know, it is a big job. And in development services, you can't drive around the city and not see building going on, right? And that doesn't happen without being able to turn around permits and get you know, projects going. And in community services, you know, Cindy is always got something up her sleeve over there, you know, planning some event or something, and then trying to keep all those you know, recreation programs going. And of course, you know, Public Works. It's just it's a pretty amazing place to work, and there's a lot going on. So, but we will jump back real quick to some of the stuff that we've been doing over here. Not that it's all about us. It's just I know I want to get some of these statistics out. Now we do know that is St. Patrick's Day Thursday.
It is.
I think it's Thursday. I don't think we'll be turning Roberts Lake Road green, but
that's a good idea.
We know there is a lot of green beer drank on that day. And so we would just say, be careful. With our OTS grant, we will be having extra people out to make sure that encourage people to use Ubers and Lyfts and taxis and friends. If there, you know, there is nothing wrong with going out and having a beverage or 2 or 3 if you want, as long as you don't get in the car after you do it and drive. That's where the problem comes. So please, you know, drive safely, use your head, don't drink and drive. We ask you to do that. I can tell you that this year, you know, staffing increases and we get, you know, COVID kind of has left it up, and we're more back to that proactive approach that we like to take. Our DUI arrests are up 31% this year compared to last year. And, you know, there's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, when COVID first started, there was no one on the streets, right? The city was empty, but as traffic gets going now and we're getting people out there, we're being more proactive. We've seen a huge increase. So last year we arrested in 2021, the department arrested 35 DUIs, total 35 DUIs. And year to date this year, since January 1st through yesterday, we've had 46 DUI arrests already this year. So that is a huge increase. Just even in the 3 months we've had. And I don't know if that's because we have more people driving under the influence or we're just finding more of them, but we do have a few more people out on the street, and so they are looking. So don't drink and drive.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous for you. It's very dangerous for the community, pedestrians, other drivers, and those are the people that usually get hurt. And so I'm asking you, don't do it. But if we catch you, there will be a fine to pay, and you will probably end up in jail for at least a night. That's not worth it. Also, yeah.
I just want to jump in that comparison. That was the same time frame from 21 to 22. So that 35 was January 1st to March 14th of last year, compared to the same time frame this year. So we're counting that two and a half month period over those 2 years, and so it's a 31% increase with that same period of time. And so yeah, it is a big jump.
Well, that is see, that's how you keep me out of trouble, because I misread that top thing. I was thinking, in fact, I almost was like, do I really want to say that we only arrested 35 DUIs last year?
Yeah,
and we've already fixed, but I'm like, oh, those are the numbers. But okay, same time frame, 35 in that time frame in 21 and 46 already this year.
Yeah, we're trying to, the same measurement, same time period. So yeah, what the activity of folks, from January to the middle of March, we were looking at. So
okay, and so that's the same with the traffic stops.
Correct.
Same time period. Okay,
Yep.
So in 2021,
well, the traffic stops, yes.
same time period, January 1st to 3/14. So basically the 2.5 months in 2021, during that period of time, we made 759 traffic stops. And during that time period in 2022, we made 1,068 traffic stops. So like I said, we've gotten some people off training, give them their own set of keys. Our patrol staffing is starting to increase. We're getting the numbers of patrol officers back out on the street. And you can see the difference it makes when we have full staff, fuller staffing and a lot of proactivity. So that's quite an increase there also. Catalytic converters are still a problem, but it's not like it was, but we are still seeing some. But what we've seen lately, and we just want to report out on, is siphoning of gas, the theft of gas. I guess when gas gets almost $6 a gallon, that's going to create a need or an intent for people. So we want you to be aware of that, and we want you to be aware there are people out there who are stealing gas. And so much like what we talked about with catalytic converters, if you can park your car in the garage, park your car in the garage. If you can't, park it in a well-lit area, hopefully with something with cameras. Hopefully your cameras have night vision. It's hard to pick people up anyway, but the more opportunity we have to identify people, the better. And I think this was one of the things that Jill talked about, and I didn't think about it, but if you're going to park your car, try to park your car so your gas cap is on the street side, not on the sidewalk or house side, because if it's on the street side, it'll be more visible. And if someone's trying to siphon your gas, it's easier for people to see. Easier for us to see when they're driving by, easier for your neighbor to see. So just things to be aware of. And of course, just be diligent. If you hear something outside or there's something, and just if you want to call us, call us. You don't have to go out and check yourself. But gas theft, we are seeing an increase in right now. I don't know. I don't know why people think it's okay to steal from other people, but that is something we're seeing right now. We haven't seen much in March as far as this next one, but in February we had a rash of thefts from gym lockers, right? So just be aware. Don't take anything you don't need at the gym locker. If you can get a lock that is the one, the kind that are much more difficult to cut. But I just wanted to make you aware that we have taken some reports mainly in February on gym locker thefts, and just to be aware of that so you don't get victimized yourself. We've also seen a little bit of an increase in mail theft lately. And it was interesting, Jill had put on little notes. She doesn't know if it's because of tax season. And a lot of times during this season, there's tax information going back and forth, W-4, W-2s, maybe some tax, your rebates. So the mail theft has gone up, and I think, that could be what people are looking for. They just know that there could be some valuable mail in there, especially if you're getting stuff from the IRS. It's going to have your social security number, your birthday on it, your name on it. It doesn't take much for people to steal your identity. So just, don't let your mail build up in the mailbox. Try to get it on a daily basis. If you know what time your mail truck gets there, normally try to get out there within, short time after it leaves. Don't give that opportunity. We control. That's the one thing that we control is the opportunity. Don't control the intent, but we can control the opportunity. I keep saying that, right? And then I would like to kind of let people know, if you don't, about our transparency page. If you go you can go on the City of Rohnert Park and go to public safety, or you can go to the public safety page. But on there, right on the front, is a button that says transparency. And if you go in there, you can look at all of our policies, all of our training. We're trying to put everything we can up there so that you don't have to search for things. It's right there, right? You don't have to wonder about it. We put a lot of our statistics on there. Our safe team info's on there. The calls for service, how many are they handling. We put police and fire monthly report on how many calls they went for, calls for service, arrest, everything. So we're trying to get it out there. And so I'm just letting people know that, hey, that information's out there if you want, and you can go look at it anytime. If you have questions about it, give us a call. I am really happy to report that our safe team is now gone from 12 hours a day to 18 hours a day. They hit the road at 9 in the morning and they run till 3 in the morning. So we've expanded that from 12 hours to 18, and we're really excited about that. It's been a great asset for both of our cities, Rohnert Park and Cotati. And just last month, I can tell you that they started November 1st was when the first day they started, and we are still kind of working through it. But from November 1st to February 28th, almost said February 30th, February 28th, those 4 months, they have handled over 400 calls for service. And when they handle a call, they're usually longer. There's a lot more transports in place, but those they've handled 400 individual calls, and that's not even counting the calls that the self-initiated stuff that they're doing. So we have seen extreme value in that team. And I'm sure you see them running around, that white van with a safe on it. That's the team. And they're doing some really, really good work out there.
That's really good.
We have questions?
So yeah, one of them you just answered, which was any feedback on how the SAFE program is going. So I don't know if you want to say any more about that, but someone was asking about the SAFE program. And then did you have any more to say? Or I think you kind of answered, what they're doing, how they're doing.
Yeah. What I can say is that the relationship between the City of Rohnert Park, Cotati, and then Petaluma People Services Center has been great, because whenever you bring a new program in like this, you have to work out some of the kinks, and so we have been able to work. There's some transport issues that we come across. Can we transport this? Can we not transport? What do we do when we transport to Santa Rosa? Who do we notify when we go there? Because the people are requesting a transport there, but we don't want it to look like we're taking and leaving. So we're still working through stuff. This is a model in progress, and it's very fluid. But it's been very nice to work with the group that we have, because we're all working towards solutions, not concentrating on the problems. But it's been really nice to see how the agencies, both Rohnert Park Public Safety and Katati, have really embraced, the officers have embraced the team. And when we first started talking about it, I think we had a lot of personnel that were I don't know what this, I'm not sure they should be out in the street. I'm not, do we want them on our calls? But once they started working together and they really started understanding what the SAFE team could do and couldn't do, we have, officers now, I'm hearing them, hey, can you get SAFE team over here? Or, hey, can you stage the SAFE team? I'm familiar with this person, but it's probably, so it's really good to see how they're starting to understand and learn each other. Really excited about that. And as they do that, I see these calls for services even going up more, because there's, when we had our consultant look, he kind of came down and did an evaluation, kind of see where we were. And there were a lot of calls that he pulled out that said, yeah, this could have been a safe call. This could have been a safe call. And so we're probably missing a few. And so we're trying to get better about that. And it's just, one of the questions that came up when we were talking about the SAFE team is, sending them into dangerous situations. And so we have actually, our dispatch, when they triage, they probably triage on the safe side. And so when we go through and look, and we've got the consultant say, no, that would have been a good call. So we're finding that really fine line for the SAFE team. But they're right now, they are a tremendous value to us. And we're really excited to keep working forward with them. Yeah.
Does the agency talk with like other cities outside of this area that have other programs? Are you kind of sharing what successes or things from other, areas outside, just to show like, what trends are happening, what approaches, and where success is happening? Or is there kind of like a larger conversation that goes on?
So we have Sonoma County has a chiefs group, and we have our retreat in a couple of weeks. And one of the topics on there is the SAFE team. And so we've got people coming in to talk to us and to share information. And for instance, we have Petaluma has a team, Rohnert Park Katati has a team, and Santa Rosa actually has a team. It's a little different model, and it's not called SAFE. It's called, I think it's In Response. And they have 3 people on the truck, but it's the same idea. And so we're all going to talk about, what are you seeing in Petaluma? What are you seeing in Santa Rosa? What are we seeing? But then we also have a gentleman coming in to talk to us about more of a regional, what they're seeing. So yeah, we are constantly trying to gather information, figure out. What a lot of people are saying is this is an approach that they'd like to just see keep growing regionally. Right. And I get calls from agencies all the time wanting to know about our safety. How'd you get it started? What was the cost? What's it doing? Because there's a lot of cities who are thinking maybe we should look at doing this. Right. So a lot of conversation right now around these alternate response teams. Yes.
We had a question that came in. Let's see. Have any business owners near Roberts Lake reached out with concerns? Have they expressed concerns? Also, is there a cost associated with extra patrol?
Yeah, I think I've met every business owner over there in the plaza. We have had meetings with them to talk about some of the issues. There's no real cost to extra patrol. We're out patrolling anyway. And we do it wherever there's issues. If there's issues, we try to get extra patrol out there. I will tell you that we are getting through that area a lot. And our personnel are sitting in that plaza. I was out there today. I try to get out there. My deputy chief tries to get out there. So we're not only pulling from patrol, but we are definitely trying to have a high presence in an effort to basically say, hey, we understand there's a problem with housing and we have an unsheltered population. We're going to do the best we can to provide you with an area to be. However, we also understand we have a business park here, a plaza with businesses here that's been here for a while. And so we're not going to let one destroy the other. So we spend a lot of time in that plaza, parked report writing, just parked contacting people, so that those businesses, one, feel safe, and so that they go business as usual. But there's not really an extra cost, but there is we are spending a lot of time over there. But that's because that's where we need to be right now. So.
Okay. See, another person in chat asked, will the Froyo with Ropo or something similar be a regular ongoing event now that COVID restrictions are lifting?
And that is a big yes. That we feel like we've also been detained in jail too, because we haven't been able to do that, and it's really one of our favorite things to do that stuff. So we were going to do a coffee with a cop, but we were asked, hey, I got this idea, I'd rather do this. It's like, absolutely, because we think it's, especially on a Saturday afternoon, we want to see some of our our kids come out, and they don't come to coffee with cop a lot. So but I've heard ideas of a hot cocoa with cops. We've got one of our local businesses would like to do a pizza with police or pizza with the popo, something like that, right? So I've got businesses now reaching out wanting to do these things, and like I said, we're going to continue doing the chat, but if we can start moving the chat to some live events, we want to do that. We've been contacted by a sorority on SSU's campus, and so at the end of this month, we're going to be joining with them to do an event called Women Empowering Women, and they've invited all of our female officers, dispatchers, all of our personnel to come out and talk about what it's like to have a job in a public safety building or profession. So we're excited about that. So we are going to continue doing these. I'd like to do them monthly. That would be my goal, and just do them all over the different places in the city. So yes, thank you for asking. But we're excited about finally taking these shackles off and being able to get out. I think we're 6 weeks into our 8-week civilian academy, which was nice to be able to do. And right now, Lieutenant Jeff Nix, has been assigned to work on developing the program, the volunteer program, the emergency response team, CERT team,
Okay.
the CERT team. And I had civilian academy on my mind. I couldn't get it out. So so we're really excited about getting the CERT team going too. And so that training will be coming out. So all this stuff that we've not been allowed to do for the last year and a half or 2 years, I guess 2 years, we're gonna be inundating you with opportunities to join the Department of Public Safety for certain events and projects. What else are we doing there? And if you have an idea, let me know. We want to make sure people come out. So, but we'll continue to do the coffee with a cop and stuff. But we're gonna be adding to that too.
Very nice. Yeah, someone in the chat actually did a shout out for the civilian academy and made comment that the last 6 weeks have been great. So that's some nice feedback.
Yeah, that is great. I've dropped in there. I was there the first night, and I dropped in the other night, and it was great to see everybody still there, right? Because that excitement level is still there, and people must be enjoying it. In fact, I think that when there were some great comments and feedback on the night that we did the forced option simulator. It's to be able to experience that and actually kind of get an idea of what it's like. It's really eye-opening, and people love it. So I can't wait to do the next civilian academy. We actually had to turn people away this time because we only had so much room because of the requirements for spacing and stuff. So we're looking forward to doing another civilian academy. We definitely are going to get the CERT program going, which is the Community Emergency Response Team. which, that once you get a CERT team trained and up and running, they're so valuable. They can help, of course, in emergencies and disasters, right? That's what everyone thinks. But I've used CERT teams before to help find missing children, missing people, right? That person walks away from their home, they're confused, they suffer from maybe some dementia or something, and now they're starting to get dangerously because they're get the CERT team in, start cordon off city, and so the CERT team is very valuable. I'm hoping we have a good turnout for that. We actually today we did lieutenant's testing. We have a lieutenant who will be retiring, so there was a lot of buzz around the station today, a lot of people wearing suits and ties and nervously pacing out my door. But that's always exciting to see that, because that's just growth in the department. We recently did a sergeant's promotional, and so far we've got 2 sergeants coming off of that list, and another one real soon. So we'll be doing another sergeant's promotional for some additional anticipated retirements. Right now we have 5 individuals, 5 public safety officers in the field training program. They graduated from the academy in December-ish. So they're still in their training program. We currently have 2 people in the police academy out of Santa Rosa. And we have 5 slots for the July academy out there. So we'll be putting an additional 5 public safety officer candidates in the July academy. So a lot of moving pieces around here, always a lot of new faces around here, which is exciting. But yeah, so I think it's important that you know what's going on in here, and that we did those promotions, and we had a really, really great community panel. We call it the interactive panel, to where it was all community members that sat on this panel. And when I go in afterwards and I debrief, I say, if you came to the department and had an issue and needed to talk to a lieutenant, evaluate these lieutenant candidates. So it's nice to be able to invite the community into the building to have some input on promotions. So it was a good process, and I'm excited. I've got 4 individuals who probably won't sleep tonight because
I told who got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I let them know that they all passed. I did do that, but I said I've got to get all the scoring and everything in. So I'll be talking to you tomorrow, and I'm thinking I'm going to make those 4 individuals go through a night. They probably won't sleep, wonder what's going on.
Well, they might probably not slept last night.
Well, that's true. One of them did say, I think I slept 2 hours last night. So yeah, it's it's a process when you go through promotional in a public safety agency. They went through 2 full interview panels. They went through basically a professional panel, which had police chiefs and deputy chiefs sitting on it, asking them, job related questions, right? And that's everything from, management questions, leadership questions, liability questions, basically what, the job of a lieutenant. And then you leave there and you go to your second interview, which is now the community panel, which, we're going to hit you with some community issues, and we're going to see, one, are you up on those issues, and how do you address a community full of people, and we're going to take you off your game a little bit too. We're not going to let you get in the pattern. We're going to throw some stuff at you, right? We want to see how you do in that environment. And then we gave them a writing assignment where they watched a video that was pretty traumatic video, and they had to make some decisions about what they're going to do as a lieutenant. You're on, and this happened, and on your shift, and what do you do? So yeah, they earn those positions. I can guarantee it. There's nothing given, as they say. But that was exciting. So always something going on in here.
Yes, there is. That's one of the comments on Facebook was thanking you for having, the community as part of the panel. And so appreciate community having a opportunity to, I think, one, yeah, meet the individuals who are potentially going to move into that position. And then also, being able to have a say in their interpretation. So,
Yeah, absolutely. We try to, get a kind of a cross section of the community. We had one of the gentlemen he's a retired teacher, has been a longtime resident of the community. One of the others is someone that I see at council meetings all the time who will, who isn't afraid to ask questions and give opinions, and that's very valuable. One is an ex, used to work in the city, and live in the city, so knows those expectations. But I think it's so important to have that aspect, because that's who we serve, right? It's important to have a professional panel that can, determine whether the candidate has an understanding of processes and policy and some of the new state law that's coming out, and because that's a lot of what they do. They manage, right? And then they can also pick the leadership qualities up. But we don't serve ourselves, right? We serve the community, and so the community has to be part of that hiring process, and that promotional process. And it was interesting because that community panel was really locked in on they all had great feedback, and there wasn't a lot of debating back and forth, that they all agreed, and they actually saw a lot of what the other panels saw. So it's interesting to see how you can bring someone in, give them 45 minutes with the person, and how much they can walk away with, how much they can have an idea of who that person is. So yeah, and we'll continue to do it. We won't have a promotional process here without bringing the community in. It's not right. The community's got to give me feedback.
now, is that common practice, or is this something that's somewhat unique to Rohnert Park?
I wouldn't say it's the trend, but I know a lot of people that do it. At the first department I started at, they always didn't necessarily do a panel, but they always had a community member on the panel.
Okay.
So if it was even police officer recruitments, a community member would always sit, and that the city felt it was important to at least have that aspect in there. And I've always just thought it's important. I mean, let's just do a panel, right? When I came here, I think I had 3 interviews the first day, and then I finished with an interview with the city manager, just to see if I made the cut to get to the second day of 2 more interviews and another interview with the city manager. And one of those interviews was a community panel. And one of them was the panel you sat on, which was employees of the city. And then one of them was the professional panel. So I remember driving in, when I was coming in, I was hoping, I knew I was in the first batch in the morning, right? They're going to do 3 in the morning and 3 candidates in the afternoon, and then make a cut to see who came back the next day. And I was thinking, I hope I get the community panel first. That's just a great panel to start with, right? Because you just get to converse with the community, and it's not so like detailed process, policy oriented. I thought that'd be a great way to kind of warm up for that technical panel. And no, I got the technical panel first.
Wait, which one did you get?
Yeah, I got the technical panel first. And so that was exhausted by the time I got to the community panel. But
you were really warmed up then, yeah.
Definitely. But it's I think it's good for the candidate too, especially when I did, I was coming to Rohnert Park. So it gave me a sense of the community, right? How do people feel about the community? And these individuals are very serious about their community, right? And so it not only gives the board a chance to find out who the candidate is, gives the candidate a chance to see kind of the makeup, what's this community like. So yeah, if you ever, and if anybody out there is watching would ever like to sit on a panel, just send me a note and I'll put you on the list. And next time we do a promotional, we'll reach out to you. It's pretty rewarding to sit on a panel and know you had a part in that process.
Yeah, it's
So
great.
thank you for noticing.
That's great. That's all the questions we have right now. We have some comments and some shout outs to our dispatch team and some folks making comments, but I don't see that we have any other questions at the moment.
Yeah, thank you for shouting out to our dispatch team. We just hired 2 new dispatchers. One of them, Gloria, started yesterday. So she'll be in training for a while. It's about a 5 to 6 month training program for a dispatcher. And then we have another dispatcher who's starting next Monday. Kristen is actually a lateral, so she will come in and she'll definitely have a shorter training program. And then we're hiring another dispatcher. So dispatch has been down, as you can see, 3 dispatch positions, right? And it's still going to be down for a while until we get these individuals trained. But even though they've been working with short three dispatchers, the number of calls that have come in haven't stopped. It's not like the community goes, oh, we're 3 dispatchers down, so we'll do 30% less calls. No, the same number of calls come in, the same number of 911, the same dispatch calls come in. And I will tell you that they are absolutely amazing. The work they do up there. I always tell them when I do my chief's interview with them, I say, I can't do your job. I just want you to know that. I value you so much because I can't do it. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you multitask and watch 3 screens at a time and get people where they need to go. But they are seriously the lifeline to us, because when we're driving to a call, all we have is the information they're providing us with. We're going there. We just know what we're being told. And so the fact that they can draw that information out of people and then get it to us is amazing. So what I would ask out there is, I've had people call me to complain and say they weren't listening to me. They just kept asking me these questions. They're asking you those questions because they know the vital information to give. And I know you might believe the information you're trying to give them is important, but they know the officer will get that information when they get there. The questions they ask you, just take the time to answer those questions so that they can relay it to the officer, so that the response can be quicker and better. When we get there, we'll ask all the questions, but don't get upset if they say, excuse me, I just need you to answer this question, because that's what they're trying to do. And it's a tough job, but I guarantee you, they are the reason that most these calls end successfully, because of the work they do on the front load. So be patient with them, but keep appreciating them, because we would not be able to do our job without them.
No, I agree. We have an amazing team. They've been here for a long time, professional, and so community is lucky to have the team that we have.
Yeah, dispatch takes a lot of training, and everybody gets better at their job. But we've got a group of dispatchers up there that they anticipate the needs of the officer. They're already doing stuff and researching things and getting information that they know the officer is going to want or need before the officer ever asks for it. And so I actually call them dispatch detectives, is because that's what they're actually doing. And it's amazing how, as the officer is trying to deal with something on scene, the dispatcher is able to pull information from different sources and give it to them to help them get through the calls. So yeah, I'm extremely proud of our dispatch center and all of the dispatchers there. So yeah, I can't get those positions filled quick enough for them. So yeah, I'm hearing sirens outside, so we're going to something.
Something too, yeah.
Oh, I got some kind of comment here. Posting stats on the east side. Oh. Yeah, so that they asked about, they said you've been posting a lot of stats for the police side, but what about the fire side? So we actually post, if you go to that transparency page and you click on it, it'll take you, and the top one shows the reports for the fire service, the police service, and the safe team. So if you click on fire service, the fire, it'll tell you, it's just like the police. So it shows right now, February's up. So it shows you how many calls for service, what types of calls for service. And then it goes down and it'll show you the main call. It breaks it down a lot. But I understand with the fire concerns, we can start trying to put some more information out on that. But we put identical reports out for our fire and our police on that. So yeah, I encourage you to go to the transparency page and read it. We're trying to get more pushed out there so that I don't want you to feel like you have to ask for something. Anything I can think of, I just say, yeah, throw it up on a transparency page so people don't have to ask for it. It's just right there. So, yeah.
Perfect.
Well, I see we're coming to the end of our time, and I'm not sure. Do we got another one?
I think it was just a thank you.
I don't get perfect thanks too often. That's pretty good. I might have to take a screenshot of that one.
Oh,
I really appreciate everybody, taking an hour out of your day to listen to me talk. But I hope I caught you up on some of the stuff that's going on in here. And I would, love for you to come out and meet some of the public safety officers on March 19th at Toppings in Rohnert Park on Golf Course Drive for the Froyo with the Popo. And I will see you, I believe it's April 5th.
it will be.
And yes, and I will. And so on April 5th, I've asked our community services director, Cindy Bagley, to if she would like to come on as a host, and because their rec guide's about to go out and they've got a bunch of stuff going on in the city. And so I thought it'd be a great opportunity, one, to introduce your community services director. She is the department head. She runs that over there. And then also kind of let her talk about what's going to be in that guide, what's coming out. And so everybody knows, so we don't miss any recreation opportunities. And I'll be there also to answer questions too. So I'm not going anywhere, but thought it'd be a good opportunity to introduce another one of our staff members. So, all right, well, until April 5th, be safe and let us know if you have any questions. Be glad to answer them. Take care. Thank you, Jill.
Bye. Thank you.